Hello, and welcome to our next episode of Conversations Over Coffee. I'm Nancy Hafner. I'll be your host today, along with Vicki Henley, and we are part of the Wilmer Early Childhood Programs with Wilmer Public Schools. Today, our guests are Rochelle Peterson, the Executive Director of PACT for Families, and Natalie Campos, a licensed school social worker who is also working at PACT for Families currently and pursuing her master's degree in social work. So welcome, and we're so glad to have you with us today. And Rochelle and Natalie are going to introduce a new opportunity for parents called Calm Parents, Healthy Kids. Vicki?
Well, thank you, Nancy, and so glad to have you here with us, ladies. First of all, as an educator and also as a mother, I can see how calm parents would lead to healthy kids. So sometimes it's easier said than done, I know, but I think parents will welcome this program. So ladies, this is a new approach, correct, to behavior intervention for many of us. Can you please share some of the core principles of the program itself?
Yes, thank you, Vicki. We're glad to be here with you. So Calm Parents, Healthy Kids is simulations offered through Kognito. And what they are is interactive role simulations that help build skills for parents to be responsive to their 2 to 5-year-old children in a calm and loving way to stressful situations.
Sounds like it's an alternative approach. It's not really a traditional way to address the emotional needs or behaviors of children. Would that be correct?
Yes, and then the nice thing about the simulations is that you go through several scenarios that help you guide to respond virtually. You also have a virtual coach that helps you in case you didn't answer, like in case you don't get the response you wanted, you could always go back and they get feedback from that virtual coach. And then what this does is parents are able to practice and then receive feedback that will learn and assess their competency to similar conversations in real life situations.
So we know that people love TV and animation, especially children, parents as well. Do you see that there's advantages in this with these simulations and it being virtual?
I think so, because with everything going on right now, with COVID and everything, this is done virtually and they could do it at their own time. So they're practicing for situations of how to handle better those stressful situations that they could have with their 2 to 5 children.
So could you give an example of the kind of question or scenario a parent might ask the simulator?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So like I mentioned, there's 3 scenarios, but one of them would be like when you're in an important call and then you have your child there and he's trying to get your attention. So it walks you through that situation. What is it that you could do to still meet the needs of the child, but also for you to finish the conversation?
We've all experienced that, haven't we? That's a very good example, Natalie. Say, I have a quick question about training, because this is all going to require some training for the parents, correct? And I'm just wondering, how does that happen? How does the training happen? And then also, is that something that they have accessible to them at all times? Say that they run into a glitch or may struggle a bit. Do they have support?
Just to clarify, when we talk about the word training, it's really going through the simulations. And so it's not for the parents technically a training, and jump into Natalie if you think we can frame it better, but it's access to these simulations, which the simulations are kind of the training. And so very self-explanatory, though. I think pretty much anytime you you can click into it. It really walks you through how to access and click on, and it really just unrolls itself. And so you don't necessarily need a training to utilize it. It'll just be accessible. So
we know that the virtual training will internalize or transfer over so that it will be able to be used in real life situations. I would guess that is their hopes, correct?
Right, and then Kognito has done their own research already. And then based on their research, they found that overall parents found the simulation to be very effective. 86% stating it was very good or excellent, and 100% saying they would recommend it to somebody else using it. So
strong data, very strong data. Rochelle, do you have anything to add in reference to that?
You know, I was going to say earlier, but it ties into the data collection, that I think the online simulations are helpful. Some of the feedback in the studies previously have been that it's less intimidating. You know, when as a parent and I come in and I can just walk through these simulations just as watching, and as Natalie had said, like they give you options to respond. So even that example that Natalie gave about the phone call, how would you respond? They'll give you options and you can choose. And then if perhaps they'll give you feedback if there's a better option, perhaps, and why. And you know, we don't have to sit in judgment with the computer and the virtual simulations, but we can learn from that and go, oh yeah, I can see why that's a better option, or you know, and move forward. And then you can go back and switch it, and then they'll play it out with that option to see maybe what the result would be if you did something slightly different. So I think
really sounds like it's promoting success and encouraging people to try different techniques and strategies. That's very cool.
Without feeling embarrassed or for having the wrong answer or the wrong solution. You know, I think that's what kind of the key. It's a little less stressful at times to do that, you know. So.
Perspective. Does the simulation speak to you in different languages? So is it accessible in different languages? And then how much time would a parent expect to spend in a simulation setting?
Right now, it's only offered in English. Kognito is working on offering it in Spanish, but closed captioning. The simulation itself, for one scenario, it would be, well, actually for the 3 scenarios, it would be about 30 minutes, but it would just depend on the parent. If they want to keep practicing, if they go back and forth with those options, but it's designed for about 30 minutes.
Pulling it out, ladies, what would you say? Give us some instructions or some insight as to what we would do now to enroll or to get involved as a parent.
Well, as a parent, you would just need to wait for the information coming from the school, because we're actually connecting with the school districts right now and to start the implementation of the program.
And you mentioned this was ages 2 to 5. So would this be focused on our early childhood and maybe kindergarten, elementary school buildings?
Right, this specific simulation, the Calm Parents Healthy Kids, it's for the parents of 2 to 5-year-olds. So yes, that would be early childhood.
And kindergarten?
And kindergarten.
Great.
I know Natalie and I were talking about it because the simulations really, I mean, are definitely geared for those younger pre-K, you know, age groups. But really, I mean, there's beneficial information about how to, you know, handle parent-child conflict. I mean, just some of those pieces that don't end at age 5, you know.
Natalie and Rochelle, I think Nancy and I both have learned so much about this program. We all are striving for those calm parents and healthy kids. And I'm just wondering what the parents are to do next? Ladies, if you can just direct us, what should they be looking for if our families are interested in this program?
Yes, actually, the school district will be providing more information on how they could access through a link, and they would also provide an enrollment key to have access to those simulations.
Wonderful. So families, if you're interested, be watching for that information coming from the schools. Thanks again, ladies.
Yes, thank you for joining us for our January episode of Conversations Over Coffee. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.